Sure.
Okay. So the two types of people that we have on this planet, one who believe that there is God, and then the other who believe that there is no God, right? So these are two types of people. Today, what I wanted to talk to you about was about what is God. Uh, why are these two types of people? Why do they exist? These two types of people, one who believe and the other who don't believe. Actually, both of them are um, confused because they have not understood the concept of God. God to me is a, I'm now talking from my experience, okay? I am not talking from the books or the uh, holy scriptures or anything like that. I am talking from my experience. God to me, uh, so pay attention to what I said in the beginning. I want to talk about what is God. I didn't say who is God, okay? The very difference in the concept. To me, God is just a concept that all of us, it was created for a reason, you know. Um, you need somebody whom you can blame for your life, right? And that is why they created, okay, we will have somebody, we will call this person very, very powerful so that we can create fear in the minds of people. And from that fear, we will create life. Remember one thing, if there is no fear in your mind, you will not have a life. Think about it. It's a very deep thing. Your life will be useless without fear. So fear is the root cause of all the experiences that we create. So the concept of God was introduced whenever in back in time, at some point it would have been introduced. And people used it for their own personal benefits in so many different ways. So one thing that you, so now I'm kind of explaining to you the root. Okay, it's truly a spiritual understanding. It has nothing to do with the religion. It's all the religions talk about God. Okay, but all of them have one thing common. They have personified God because human beings can relate only to people. So from my personal experience, what I found was um, I had this problem right from my childhood about accepting the picture of a God. So let's say you see the picture of Krishna, for example, and I would say, well, who has seen him? How did they draw this picture? How did they create this image? Then later on, as I was growing up, I heard from some of the holy books that they talk about this is these are the features in songs and in prayers. They talk about the features of the God, the names of the God, and um, all kinds of descriptions of the God as a person. Okay. Now, now these two types of people, one who believe and one who don't believe, they are created from the belief system in which they are born. You personally were actually growing up in an environment where there was one of the two existing before you were born. The belief existed. It is part of the family where you were born. And you assume, because it is kind of given to you as part of your belief system, you never question it. You assume and then keep following it because the fear is given in your head that if you don't do something like this, if you don't do good things, good karma, God will punish you. right? Very basic thing. These are all very basic things, and that fear. So my personal experience today, I want you all to start questioning your belief system. Either way, existence of God or non-existence of God, both the things have to be questioned. Because non-existence of God, those who believe God does not exist, actually have God in their head. God is not there. So the primary focus is on God. They also have focus on God, which they are debating because they see other people showing the personification of God. And that's where they have a problem, right? So both of them have the same thing. They are focused on the concept of God, right? One accepts it, one doesn't accept it. Now, if I tell you that the concept itself is flawed, you got to figure out, okay, then what is the right concept, right? So over the years, people have given different names now, right? Those who started understanding a little bit about it, they started giving name. They said, okay, the creator, right? The one who created everything. Once again, they considered this to be a person. Then it started becoming it more and more refined, and people said, well, no, um, it's beyond a person, right? It's more than a person. Still, the human mind imagines the existence of God as a person. From my personal experience, I can tell you God is, um, this is how I feel, is that God is not a person. God is an experience. You can experience, but you cannot describe. That experiencing, and every one of us experiences God every day, all the time. But we don't know because we have never identified that experience as the origin of everything.
Is that love?
Yes, love is the most fundamental element. But imagine, love is only very small description, I would call it. Think about it, like just imagine that you are holding absolutely newborn baby in your hand. You have both your hands like that, and you have a newborn baby smiling at you. That baby doesn't belong to you. It's just a baby. Okay. How would you feel? What is the feeling you are getting at that time when creation is happening? Whenever there is creation, creator has to be present, isn't it?
Hmm.
Whenever creation is happening, the creator is not far away. He's right there. Okay. And when you are holding this newborn in your hands, you are actually experiencing the creator.
Mm.
Now, how do you describe it in words? You cannot, isn't it? That's why in all these scriptures, people have said that this cannot be put in words. You have to find it by yourself, right? That is the
Right.
meaning of this. So understanding this one very basic thing will change everything in your mind about the concept of life itself. Because this is a very, very fundamental basis on your use of free will, your decision making, your considerations in life. The moment you experience it in this manner, you won't have fear. There will be no fear. There's nobody there to punish anybody, right? So once you are out of fear, your natural state will be that of love. you will have love for everything around you. So over the last few months, I have been dwelling on this particular thought, and I am kind of observing my own life around me from this perspective. And that is kind of giving me much deeper understanding of the existence. So look, I always tell you, look at the plants in your house. When
Right.
that one new leaf sprouts in the plant, how do you
Yeah.
feel when you are near there, right?
Mm.
Any place where creation is happening, creator is present. So now somebody would would have a question, okay, who created the creator? That question can never be answered because it's like a chicken and egg, which came first, right? So creation doesn't really have a creator. It just happens. Okay. And once you understand this thing, you will then begin to understand God very differently. You may not even use the word God anymore. And the moment you remove that word, you will take the responsibility of your life on yourself because there is no one else to push the blame to, right? Then everything and anything happening around you is just you. So this was something I thought I will share with all of you that uh, think in these terms. Start thinking in these terms because over thousands of years, people have misinterpreted the original concept and used it. They have actually transformed this concept into things for their benefit. They've created systems, they've created religions, they have created all kinds of things. But that's for the social system to function in a certain way. People have vested interest in things and then they create situations and then they convince people and people get convinced very fast. Nobody wants to. Why? Because nobody wants to do fundamental thinking. When you start questioning things at the fundamental level, that is when you begin to open up the wisdom that you are carrying within you. Trust me, in your wisdom, you actually know who God is or what God is. In your wisdom, you all know. But that is deeply hidden within. And we have to find that. And the process is meditation. Through meditation, we open the doors to our own wisdom. Um, if there is any question on this particular thing, because this is going to kind of shake up everything within everyone. So if there is a question on this, um, you can ask.
Hi, Shailesh ji.
Hi.
Hi. You said like everything is creating by itself. I mean,
Mhm.
so does that mean there's no creator, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Means no
So
God.
the creation, God is a concept.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Understand that. So if
Yeah,
it is a concept, you can consider it in any fashion. It's up to you. That's why everyone leaves it open. Nobody actually kind of confirms anything on this subject, right? You ask Buddha, he will not say a word on that topic. He used
yeah.
to just keep quiet, right? Why? Because it is just a concept. We have to understand it. Now, concept can be, you can give God an identity, or let it remain unidentified, unknown, and just assume its presence. Its presence itself is creation, right? So, um, in our deeper understanding of the holy scriptures, they all talk about Brahmand. You know, Brahmand, what is it actually? What is the meaning of that? The meaning is ever expanding universe.
Yes.
So in our ancient knowledge already identified that universe is continuously expanding. So what does it tell us? Creation is a continuous process. It can expand only when creation is happening, right? But creation, once again, we all understand from again the ancient knowledge that creation is infinite. So where is it expanding to? And then if creation itself is infinite, where will the God or that creator fit? There will be no space left for the creator to fit into, right? When the creation itself is infinite. These are, I'm just shaking up your thinking process, right? I'm just kind of doing this turbulence in your mind so that you can start mentally figuring it out. Mind is quite limited. It may not be able to eventually conceive the concept. But once you begin to prod, once you begin to probe into it, things will open up within you. They will open up. I can tell you this is what I have gone through. I questioned though, because I could not understand that. Like, why am I worshipping this statue or this picture? Where did this come from? Whose imagination is this? And everybody creates the Krishna in a different way.
Mm.
Why is it so? Right? These questions were constantly um, making me think about it. Okay, um, Mahabharata, for example, is a story written by somebody. We made it holy. The person who wrote the book just wrote a story. He wrote a story to explain to people the concept of good and bad, right? We started making it holy. Why? Because we found this is, I can't understand it, but must be very good. So easiest way to deal with it is put it in a book and start worshipping the book. That's easiest, isn't it? I don't have to stress my head, my brain, keep following the rules that are prevalent in this. Think about it, like Vedas have existed for thousands of years. How many people follow the rules? They are just the books. They follow what? What do they follow though? All of us, right? What do we follow? We follow whatever was trained in our brain. We were up to the age of 7 years, we received the concepts, the um, value system, what is good and what is bad. That value system became our belief system, which we now run from. That's the programming, right? Now, that programming includes certain elements of the knowledge, some elements, right? One biggest lie on earth is always speak the truth. How many people do that? I don't know even one person who speaks the truth. Why? Because we have several personifications around us. The moment I identify myself to you, I put on um, a mask, right? What am I doing in the process? I am telling lies. I am not telling the truth. I am not showing my reality to you, right? But our scriptures say always speak the truth. Nobody does it. From from our childhood, like a little baby, We have been watching members of our family saying things which are not true to my eyes. I'm seeing that my father is sitting there and telling my mother on the phone, tell that person I am not at home. What am I learning? I am learning that it is convenient to lie. That is the learning I get, right? And that is embedded in my belief system, that the convenient path is to just lie, put on a mask. And each one of us has so many of those masks depending on the situation. We are very good at that. Huh? We just put on a mask depending on the situation, right? When you see your spouse, either husband or wife, you become either a husband or a wife. You put on that mask. But when your child comes in front of you, you become a father or a mother. That's a different mask. It is not the same. If you sit and analyze both of them, you are very different in both situations. And both of them are not your true self. This is very important to understand. The, the, the more you think about it, the more you will become honest to yourself. We are all cheating ourselves all the time. That's why the enlightened masters always say this is a drama. Don't take it seriously. Why do they say that? It means that we are just playing. Every time we put on a new role and then execute the role just like Shah Rukh Khan, right? And at the end of it, we just go back into a different role and keep changing roles. In the process, over lifetime, we actually forget who we really are. This is why meditation is difficult for people, because in meditation, they start seeing their true self. And that is very discomforting. They are not used to it, right? We are not used to seeing ourselves. Even in front of the mirror, we see only what we want to see. We filter our own image. That is what I'm trying to explain, that we have to learn and understand. Once it is clear here, your mind is not going to start tricking you. We have to shed those things that have been piled up in our head over the years. And that can happen only by questioning, inner questioning. Questioning is a very powerful tool. I just gave this little baby today one question to ask herself, right? That was the purpose. The purpose. It's easy for me to give a lecture. You will not be able to get 100% of it. Why? Because it is, my words are passing through your filters. So you are only getting whatever is allowed to go through. Everything else drops right in front of you. But questioning from within is unfiltered. It will give you the whole lot of information, the true information. So best technique is to ask questions. Through questions, beautiful things come out. Ah, okay,
Okay.
I am done. 30
Yeah.
minutes.
Thank you very much, sir. And so all of us
Thank
should start questioning ourselves before we start meditation, whatever question it
Very,
is.
very, very
Like,
important.
yeah.
You
So,
this is a very well tested technique. Um, you must have heard about Socrates, right? Socrates, the philosopher of uh,
right.
ancient philosopher in Greece, right?
Mhm.
Socrates. Socrates never used to give discourses. He used to ask people questions
Mm,
and make them figure out things by themselves. This is his technique.
okay.
Mm. And you will see that all our scriptures, including the Bhagavad Gita, it is in the form of questions and answers, right?
Right.
The
Mm,
conversation between Shiva and Parvati is in the form of questions and answers, right? So these books, they got created from the truth that came out as a result of questioning. That is what makes these scriptures um, valid beyond time. They are
Right.
timeless scriptures, right?
Right.
The reason is that because they have come from the truth.
Right.
Yeah, truth is another thing I want to
Thank
talk about one day. Definition of truth. I think very fundamentally about things. That's why I have this kind of, yeah.
So
All right. Okay.
thank you, Celesti, for
Thank you.
sharing your
Thank you.
wisdom with
Thank you,
us.
Shailesh.
And
Thank you.
actually, it raises questions and it shackles our beliefs. And we start thinking and perhaps getting answers too in our meditation. So
Yes.
let's all start meditation today.
Uh,
Yes.
Hi, Uma. Deepika here. I
Hi.
have just one very quick question, not on the topic
Sure,
because
sure.
I know it's very deep and intense topic.
Yeah.
But yesterday, Shailesh sir said that there are four concepts to PMC organization. One is to meditate, second is to read. I wanted to know if you can share some books for the beginners, or any reading material, any document that I can find online, or if I need to buy a book or something.
Sure.
I would really appreciate it.
I think Shailesh ji is the best person to
Okay.
ask this question. I am also reading, but I would ask Shailesh ji to answer.
Right.
Okay.
So, in terms of written knowledge in books, there is so much available that it's very easy for us to get lost.
Right.
There is so many books,
Yeah.
and most of these are available as PDFs. I have a huge library of these books myself. I have it. And I can share. It's very easy for me. I can just share the link to my Google Drive, and you will see it there. And there are other PSSM Google Drive links available where you can find all the books. But then, when you look at the list, you will get lost because
Yep.
you won't
Yes.
know
True.
you won't know what to start with. So one thing that I can tell you to start with, it's easier to understand. For some people, it could be boring initially, but it has the deepest concepts of spirituality. And this book is called An Autobiography of a Yogi, written by Paramhansa Yogananda. It's in English, but it has been translated in, I think, 36 languages. There is a Hindi version also, and I'm pretty sure it will be available in other languages as well. So on YouTube, what people have done is they have done the audio book of this book,
Yeah.
and with the audio, they have uh, the written content all on the screen while they are reading it.
Hmm.
So you can actually listen and read simultaneously as you are looking at that video. So in Hindi, it is called Yogi Kathamrit. That's the name. In English, it's Autobiography of a Yogi, written by Paramhansa
Paramahansa.
Yogananda.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
So,
Please.
Shailesh ji,
Hmm,
for the first time when I read it, I didn't understand.
hmm,
For me, everything just went above my head. And then
hmm,
I thought, why people are suggesting this? It's so boring. Boring means I really couldn't connect with it. And
hmm,
then after some meditation, I started understanding. The same
hmm,
with Ramana Bhashanamalu is
hmm, hmm.
Ramana Maharshi's
Yeah.
speeches
Discourses. Yeah.
or discourses.
Yeah. Hmm,
I didn't understand first time. Then now everything I can relate.
hmm,
Wow.
So I think once level of understanding
hmm.
uh, becomes what I can say.
Getting
Yeah,
used to the terminology takes time, right? So
yeah, takes
this
time.
is where the self study is associated with Sajjan Sangatyam. Sajjan Sangatyam actually prepares the soil in your mind to plant the seed. So when you listen to people talking about something, you get used to the terminology, the concepts.
Correct.
That's where Sajjan Sangatyam, like we are doing today, for example, many a things would have become kind of clear in your mind, or you will at least get used to the language, right? And then when you, with this background, when you start reading the same book, things will become start making sense. Oh yeah, somebody talked to me like that. Yeah, somebody told like this. Those things will start connecting. So initially you will have to be a bit patient. First time around, my suggestion is just go through the book, read it like a novel, and you will automatically go back several times to the book and start understanding the depth at various spots. So this is one book. There is another book which is little more interesting because it's more like a story and drama. That book is a book. It's more about soul. What is a soul, right? So this book is called Many Masters, Many Lives
Oh.
by Dr. Brian Weiss.
Mhm.
This book, I don't know if it is translated. It's in English.
Yeah.
If you are comfortable reading English, then maybe you want to read this book. This book is just full of stories, and those
Yes,
stories are really very catchy. It
Yep.
will draw your attention, but it will also give you information which will sit in your head.
I will
Okay.
have a PDF of those books, Many
Hmm.
Masters and Many Lives, and
Hmm.
Life Between Lives, and all those things. I can share it with you, Deepika, and
All
whoever
right.
Yes.
wants,
Thank you.
like in this group, anyone else also
Yeah.
wants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Just to
Yeah.
mention was last thing, Autobiography of a Yogi. It was gifted to me by my brother last year around the same time. So I'm glad, and I think I started reading it. And as Uma called out, right, it was I couldn't relate to it, and I
Hmm.
gave up. But I think now that I've started doing the meditation, it makes more sense now to go back to the book and read it.
Slowly. Uh,
Yes.
one more little tip I will give you when you want to start reading any spiritual book, not just this book, any spiritual book. Take it in your hand. If you have it physically, just take the book in your hand, sit for 2 minutes with your eyes closed with the book, and connect with the author intentionally. Okay. Whoever is the author, I connect with so and so, maybe Paramahansa Yoganand. I want you to provide your wisdom that you have shared in this book with me. Help me understand this book. Just a little, you know, connection with the author, and
Mhm.
then start reading the book.
Okay.
You won't believe how much knowledge will come through the book to you. It will be just like a download.
Okay. That's interesting to know. I'll try that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
I heard this
Yeah.
from many masters who reads a lot of books. I haven't tried to, but I should also try. I heard, and they all say the same thing. Like, it really helps you
Yeah.
understand it better.
Yes.
So thank you,
So
Celeste,
I
for
do
doing
this whenever I am translating a book. I do the same thing.
that.
Before I start translation, I sit with the author in meditation and ask them to give me because the words will always be limited, the real knowledge that they wanted to communicate, and that gets into my translations.
Mm,
So it's a very powerful technique. If you use this, it will help a lot.
thank you.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, thank you all. Let's meditate now. Sit comfortably.